Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Ref the District, episode 99 here in the house. I'm Nathan. That's the Stoner, and that's Trev. And we've got a great show for you today as it's Sunday Night Football. We're looking forward to it. We're going to be at the game. We'll be there with Ethan in the red zone lot beforehand and up in a suite after that. So make sure you check us out. Hit us up. We'd love to see you if you happen to be there. It should be good times for Washington, not to spoil too much from the game here, at least from my side. We'll get those two takes when we get to the game about the game. In the cool down, we'll be doing our game predictions, our dollar bets, and so on. Maybe even some debate on when we can start tailgating, because some people are afraid of the cold.
Afraid of the cold or
old and afraid of the cold. We'll talk about that in the cool down. Here on the warm up, we're going to be talking some of the extracurricular activities that happen to be going on with Washington. We're going to keep that short and we'll be moving along because honestly, it's really not that important because we knew going into this. Of course, I'm talking about the sale of the team. More news came down from that. Of course, kind of in conjunction with the fact that Dan Snyder did not join Tanya or Jason Wright in Dallas, where the owners are currently meeting. What do you guys make of first of that aspect? Start with you, Stoner.
Dan not being at the owners meetings and only Tanya and I think Jason was there as well. Correct.
Yep, Tanya and Jason.
Right. Little pun there for you. Dan not being there. Good. He doesn't deserve to be there. He doesn't belong there. He's made it clear that he's going to be out. He's got enough going on, enough scrutiny going on with him. So he doesn't belong there at the owners meetings. Happy that he's not there. Has he been to any of the last few meetings over the last few years? Because for a while he was suspended and then he wasn't suspended and we didn't know it. And he still wasn't there. I don't know. I'm okay with him not being there.
I think we're all okay with him not being there and the sale of the team. But Trev, what do you make of his ghosting after the announcement of the sale of the team? You got Bank of America news coming up shortly. What do you make of that?
He's a keyboard gangster. The only time he showed his face is when he was quote unquote responsible for hiring Ron Rivera, the Happy Thanksgiving speech. Other than that, he's a keyboard gangster. Whenever he just puts out notes, he puts out statements, has his team do it, and then he just goes away and rides off into the sunset, quote unquote. So he should be there. He's owner of the team, should be held accountable for even being at the meeting because it's an owner's meeting. Jason Wright's not an owner. Tanya Snyder is co-owner.
They're definitely there answering questions, though.
Oh, for sure.
They're taking, Dan is dodging the rest of the owners in person. They can always get a hold of him if they want, but he seems to be dodging them in person. But Stoner, like you said, he was suspended, not suspended, and hasn't made any of the meetings since that came down. I wouldn't say necessarily he's a keyboard gangster because he doesn't do any of it himself, but he's like a lawyer gangster. He's just like, you say something bad about me, I'm going to stick my lawyers on you. So we don't have any money, Dan, so don't come after us.
But he does love Dallas because he was there for the game, so it is kind of surprising he's not there.
We know that he can.
He's probably there. He's just like, Jerry, I'm playing hooky. I got COVID. I can't go. COVID.
So there's a couple of things here in the chat I want to address. First, here's Smitty Jr. Why do you guys think all the chatter about selling the team died down so fast? And that's one of the aspects I led into this is the selling of the team was announced.
Yeah.
But we're not actually this team's not going to sell for months. It's not, don't buckle in and get so excited to this thinking that he's going to be gone after the playoffs. That's not what's going to happen. We're likely going to start the next league year with Dan Snyder as the owner.
Probably, which is not good.
No.
It's not good. In a lot of ways, it's not good, especially if you're trying to sign free agents and you don't know who the owner is. You don't know who's making the decisions. The Washington Nationals are going through that right now. They're in the process of being sold, and nobody knows really who's calling the shots. And Mike Rizzo, the GM, is not signing anybody because he doesn't have he doesn't have a budget to be able to say, this is how much you've got, now go put a team together. He's just signing, a guy here, a guy there, guys who don't minor league deals and smaller contracts that he knows we can fit into a normal budget. That's not good when it comes to free agency next year if he's still the owner or it's still processing the sale. But I agree, it's not going to be until sometime mid next year probably.
Go ahead, Trev.
So I go see the former restaurant bar I used to work at, Southern Inn, on Sunday nights to see the old staff and have some dinner. Sitting there, and the local fire chief sat down next to me. He knows I'm a Commanders fan. Said in the group chat, his Commanders friend said an announcement in February is supposed to be coming about the sale of the team. And he said, I don't know what that means, but normally that's the guy, whenever he talks to me about the Commanders, he's right. So I was like, okay, I don't know. I mean, that's just sitting as a rumor, but if that happens, the announcement happens in February, do we still enter the same league year with Dan Snyder because it's going to take a long time for the new person to come in and for that all to get settled, or how does that happen?
So once the sale gets approved and everything, that part's going to go quickly. The problem is kind of the lead in and then the song and dance of the money and the competition that's going to be within buying it. And I know people want us to talk football. We are definitely going to get to the football aspects to it, but this does affect the product on the field. Like Stoner was mentioning, next year, if we go in with Dan Snyder as the owner selling the team, which right now, Bank of America, the sources people are having on this say, the verbiage is going to come out. It's not going to tell you whether or not it's a piece of the team or all of the team, but it's going to be all of the team is what the sources are saying right now from Bank of America. And the reason why that impacts is because if he's still the league owner, but this team is going to be sold, those free agents that mentioned, you're going to have Ron Rivera. Even if he goes 0-4 here in the next 4 games and, we want a fresh start, it's not going to happen next season because you're not going to fire a coach, hire a new coach when the new regime is going to be coming in.
Right.
And so you're going to have a lot of kind of that same limbo going on next season, which we don't want to see. But unfortunately, that's what we're going to have to put up with if we want to get rid of Dan. And that's why it's still kind of important to talk about it. I know the news kind of died down after it was pushed out because there's no news to be had. Yeah, news is starting to trickle back, but it's because of the league meetings. It's because Dan didn't show up in Dallas. It's because Tanya and Jason did. It's because the Bank of America news is going to be coming out soon. So that's why those things end up getting talked about, and why we're.
And it's also because of winning. When you're winning, nobody worries about. Nobody talks about that off the field stuff, or. You don't put it on your list of things to do or sources to talk to when you're winning, because winning is so good. You just want to talk all about the winning. But when you're losing, then you're going to start digging on your sources to find out what's going on with the sale and what's going on with why isn't Dan there and all that other stuff. But winning helps. Winning helps quiet all that stuff as well. But I agree that the biggest part is just that there's no news, because it's just a whole thing that has to go through. It's not like selling your house. It's not like selling your car. It's so much more complicated than that.
It's a longer process.
Yeah, it's a much longer process.
No matter what happens. So,
well, let's move into the football aspect of it before we get to the actual game here. We did just have the bye week, and you're talking about winning. It sure as heck felt like we won that bye week.
Yeah.
Some people didn't quite like the term, but I mean, when you go from 8-6 without having to play a game, that's a victory in my book. Trev, where do you stand on winning the bye week?
2 reasons. For that reason, one, we got right back in the playoff position without even having to go through a roller coaster of a game on Sunday that we'd have done every season for the past few years. And second, it gave us a chance to be healthy without having to use our depth pieces that might be not as healthy as our starters had to fill in for them because they're not, we had a chance to get everybody healthy and focused. So I loved it. Moving into playoff position without playing a game and resting up and healing up. It's perfect time.
Yep. I agree. There was so much of an advantage everywhere. The Giants not only lost the game, but they lost an NFC East game.
Yeah,
a division game, a conference game.
We get to play the team we just played and saw play again. So it's 2 advantages. So.
There's no new sort of game prep that you have to do because you've already done it. So when those guys had that time off and got away for a little bit, it's not like they came back to a whole new, okay, now let's start talking about San Francisco. No, now it's you got to start dealing with the Giants, which you just did. Yeah. So it's nothing new. So that you can come back focused, you can come back fresh, you can come back feeling good about your playoff position that happened while you're gone. The Giants got their butts kicked up and down the field by a divisional foe. Seattle lost to a terrible Carolina team, and you just went from boop, beep, 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 right up the playoff ladder into an excellent position in the number 6 spot for now. And it can get better. It can get worse too. But
I think the important thing, Stoner, we're moving up to the 6th seed on the bye week. When we entered the bye week, we talked about how, technically speaking, this team is not in control of its own destiny because they're on the outside looking in. Now, if they won the games, they should be in. But now in the 6th seed, all they have to do is keep winning. They literally are now in control of their destiny. And that is an important aspect leading into this game against the Giants in these last 4 games, 3 against NFC opponents, 2 against division opponents. Those games are going to be very important, and it's going to be pretty exciting. And I'm hoping fans are packed there at FedEx Field on Sunday because I'm excited to see that. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty packed there. Unfortunately, it means Sky Bar is going to be pretty empty. That's one of our sponsors. Make sure if you're ever in the Lexington, Virginia area, you head on down to Sky Bar and see our man Trev. All you have to do is mention Ref the District. Your first drink is on us. Make sure you take advantage of that if you happen to be in that area. We got lots of people in the chat. Michael, Daniel, Smitty Jr., Command D's, Cam Mingo in the house. Good to see you. The comedian is in there as well. Gus Bus, of course. HT brings this up. I did not see this, but this is a reason why people don't like PFF. HT is asking us, did we see or talk about the PFF grade for Daron Payne being 59.2?
Yeah.
Is that a season grade?
Well, that's what I asked. I asked him to clarify if that was a season grade or if it was the game against the Giants, the tie against the Giants.
Either way, it's still wrong because he was just beast against the Giants.
Well, so one of the things, like, he's definitely been doing amazing work and something that I think that we are all very excited about, and he's going to end up getting paid some big money on. That being said, he is inconsistent. You're going to think about Barry Sanders a little bit. Barry Sanders is going to get you one of these electric plays, but then he's also going to have some of these negative plays. And you just remember those great plays. And Barry Sanders is, of course, an anomaly because he had more great plays than negative plays. Daron Payne kind of is that way. He's going to have some of these very, disruptive plays, but then there's going to be some of the plays where he's just okay. And so that's where I think that he's a 50. That's where I think he's getting rated as a 59. I'm not saying that he's a 59. I'm trying to bring it up to see whether or not it's
HT just said that that's a 2022 grade. So that's for the whole year. But I would like to see where that ranks with defensive tackles overall.
59th over 125 for interior defensive linemen.
That's interesting. Teams are going to use that against him when they're in the negotiation for a new contract, when he's going to be asking for 18 to 20 million a year, which he's going to get. So keep that in mind when he goes and signs somewhere else, which he probably will. It's because he's going to command 18 to 20 million dollars a year, because Allen is not even getting that. But Daron Payne is going to get that because that's what the market is now. So he's probably going to say goodbye to Daron Payne.
Yeah, I mean, they might try franchising him, but then you're paying him 18, 20 million anyways off of that. For the record, Jonathan Allen's grade 81.7, good for 10th out of interior defensive lineman.
That's interesting. That's very interesting, but we all know his worth, his value to this team, and it's not 59.2% or whatever, 59.2 grade. He's much better player than that. We've all seen it year in and year out, and especially this year. He's had a great year. We all want him back. There's no doubt about that. I just don't think the team's going to be able to afford him, because they're not coming back with a quarterback making $2 million a year like your backup is making right now.
now,
and you're not paying $35 million a year for a quarterback either, but you're going to pay somebody probably in the $30 million range, and that's going to leave no room for
play quarterback.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna have to. You can't. We talked about this last week or whatever. You can't waste this offensive talent that you have right now when you have Dotson, Samuel, McLaurin.
But who are we going to go get to pay that's worth $30 million outside of Carson Wentz?
I don't know. I don't know who that is. I've got a lot of theories and a lot of guys I wouldn't mind having.
I don't know anybody else,
but you can't go in with Taylor Heineke / Sam Howell / who's the other guy from North Carolina who's coming out this year? The quarterback
Maine or something like that.
Drake May, baby.
Right? I mean, you can't go into camp with QB.
You can do whatever you want,
as the guys say.
Yes, you can.
I mean, you can do whatever you want, but everyone's gonna get fired.
This is way off subject, but we're gonna keep Howell, let Taylor go, and keep Carson, and bring in a third quarterback next year.
I don't think they're gonna keep Carson.
There's somebody else.
They're going to cut him because they're not paying that kind of money.
And then we'll bring him back.
That is all talk for well after the fact. I want to try to keep it to
right now. Nathan.
Well,
see how it went from saying Deron Payne is going to be gone next year into who's quarterback in next year.
Everyone wants to talk quarterback. We are 6-1-1, and Stoner is going to be the first one to tell us you got to stay with Heineke. So let's talk about future quarterbacks down the road.
Okay.
Let's get ourselves talking about some of the games there. Yes, so it looks like it was answered there, Michael, that 87.3 is Montez Sweat's PFF. That's good for 7th out of 121 edge rushers.
Wow.
So pretty good there.
Guess what?
HT real quick, Ridgeway cannot replace Deron Payne. He's good, but he cannot replace Deron Payne.
No, absolutely not. And by the way, Montez Sweat's got to get paid too. You got to pay Montez Sweat. You got to pay Cole Holcomb. You got to pay.
You
don't have to pay.
I'm saying
let's back away. Yeah, you have to replace Cole.
Take him out that box.
Yeah, there's.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't pay him,
sure.
you gotta pay somebody for that position. Maybe you go with a rookie or whatever. But these are all guys who are going to be sitting out there that you're going to have to pay. And so I just don't think you're going to have the room for Deron Payne because you got to go get offensive linemen. You've got to go get offensive linemen, and you've got to get a quarterback. So that's just my opinion. I'm not saying that's what they're thinking.
Never mind. Nathan, let's just go because I have another theory on
this. Let's move. Yeah, we're gonna. This is a rabbit hole.
Do it again. You gotta do it again.
I said Deron Payne. I brought it back to Deron Payne.
Well, why don't we just spend next year getting a bunch of 1-year rentals because the ownership is switching, and then the year after that
they might have to. They might have to. But that is a question for the offseason, which is going to be delayed for Washington because Washington's going to go to the playoffs, and it all starts this Sunday with a victory against the Giants. That's coming up here on The Game.
The Game is brought to you by Pacers Running Stores. Pacers has 5 stores in Northern Virginia and DC. For the best running footwear, apparel, and gear, just stop by or schedule a virtual fitting with the best running experts in the business. Pacers Running exists to help as many people as possible through running. For every run, it's Pacers Running.
Pacers Running, absolutely wonderful people. They just had a sale. They're probably going to have more here as Christmas is right around the corner. And get yourself in a nice pair of comfy shoes, or if you know a runner or a walker, you can get them in a nice pair of comfy shoes right there with Pacers Running for every run. By the way, I love this comment from Scheiden Whale. Newsflash, NFL's rigged, you sheep. If it's rigged, then that's a heck of a job covering that up. Okay. Not sure what that comment's
coming in with some smoke.
Yeah, but as far as the rigged comment's concerned, believe me, if it were rigged, Jerry Jones would be pumping money into the script writers to make sure that Dallas ends up on top.
Yeah.
All right. So don't give me that this is a rigged thing, because there's definitely a whole lot of better storylines out there that could happen than what has been happening.
Yeah, I didn't see the Rams win the Super Bowl last year.
Or the Bengals.
Or the Bengals going. So
right.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
So,
he's probably going.
All right. The comment aside, let's see, what does Washington have to do this week, this Sunday night football primetime game, folks? What does Washington have to do to win? Last time they tied against the Giants. If that's scripted, they are not listening to their audience. Americans do not like ties.
Yeah, right.
Anyone watching the World Cup has been lamenting the fact, how can the game end in a tie? Well, that's just how the rest of the world operates, America. But let's what's Washington have to do to make that a victory? Obviously, last time we talked about Joey Sly making that 52-yarder. There's your W right then and there. What do they have to do this week, especially after watching the Giants get slammed by the Eagles?
I got two things.
All right.
Based off of when they played us, because everybody plays everybody different every week. So here's what it is. We need to protect Taylor Heineke a little bit better. They had 5 sacks on us last game. I don't know how many pressures, I don't know how many hits, but they had 5 sacks.
I think they had 18 pressures, which was their season high. Don't quote me on that exact number, but I believe the Giants had their season high.
We got
unacceptable.
Stop that. Unacceptable. I don't know. I can't remember if some of them were Taylor's fault or if he could have scrambled and he didn't. Like, I don't know. But point is, 5 sacks, can't have it happen.
Yep.
And then if we get down the red zone, we have to score touchdowns. Now is the time to get rid of those settle for field goal things, unless you're like 25 or whatever. But like 10 yards in, 15-yard line in, we got to put 6 on the board. Because if we want to keep going in the postseason or make it the postseason, that's how you score points and beat good teams. Is you score points when they give you the chances, and the chance is the red zone. So protect the quarterback and score points in the red zone.
I agree. Defensively, you don't change anything.
No,
you shut down Barkley.
Yep.
For the most part, I think he had 63 yards rushing that game. Okay, you basically shut down their passing game / quarterback game, right? I mean, Daniel Jones got out here and there, and he had a few passes to a guy who I had never heard of until he caught a few passes and even that touchdown. But now all of a sudden he's like a world beater.
You're right.
I can't even remember his name.
Isaiah Hodgins,
right? He just came out of nowhere. I'd never heard of him until
5 catches, 44 yards.
Yeah, and a touchdown, right?
Touchdown on 6
and
targets.
He had another touchdown last week against the Eagles. So he's obviously playing well. So you're going to have to don't do anything different on defense. They played extremely well. They only gave up 20 points. One of them was a quick drive, right? So
be a little bit better on third down. I mean,
defensively,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that the Giants were very.
Giants were 4 for 13.
I mean that's not great. That's 20.
It seemed like it was better. I feel like those Daniel Jones runs were more than what.
So. And then special teams, of course, you got to have that kick. But otherwise, don't change anything on special teams. You did pretty well. You've got to have better play from your quarterback. It's that simple. You've got to be able to score more than 20 points in the NFL. Yes. And that falls almost entirely on your quarterback.
Yeah. A lot of people there, Stoner, talked about the line actually being very good. And if you look at QB rating, he had a 101.2 QB rating. Taylor Heineke was 27 for 41, 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. By all box score standards, that was one of his, if not his best game this season.
You would have told me that without even watching the game. I would have been like, oh, Commanders probably won by like at least 10.
Yeah.
Nah.
Unfortunately,
he wasn't that great.
Those 5 sacks for 29 yards. His QBR, which takes into account all sorts of things like actual play things, was 26.2.
Yeah, that's terrible. 50 is average.
50 is average, and he was well below average in that game.
He did not play well. And yes, the offensive line has issues. But look what they did the 5 or 6 games prior to that game with the offensive line. They made adjustments so that the offensive line wasn't as exposed. For some reason, whether it's the Giants have a very good defensive line or they changed the game plan, they did not play that well, which caused Taylor to not play that well. So whatever they have to do, they have to figure it out.
And
They've
I
had
think
time off. Guys are getting healthy, although
Mhm.
you lose your center. That's a big deal. That's a
Uh,
monster
it's
deal.
not that big because we've already lost the center before him, which was
Right.
actually the biggest monster.
But what happened before Tyler Larson came back?
Zach
Between
Martin
Chase
played.
Rouillet going
Nick Martin
down
played.
and before Tyler Larson came back,
Nick
first you had
Martin.
Wes Martin throwing the ball over his head and timing was off, throwing it at his feet.
Well, that was on the fly.
Then you had that Martin dude.
Zach Martin's brother.
Zach, whatever
Yeah,
his
not
first
Zach
name.
Martin, the other,
Nick
Zach
Martin.
Martin's
the other
brother.
Martin, Nick Martin. There we go.
Who came
He
in
was
and finished
terrible.
the game. He finished the game on Sunday.
It was terrible.
He finished
Okay.
the game on Sunday. He's had experience. Now we got Wes Schweitzer playing center who's done it
Good.
before.
It's not good, Trev. It's not good.
But
I'm telling you right now.
it's not like these are pieces we've never used in multiple spots before.
That's true.
So it's nothing new for us.
That's
Our
true.
O-line is
That doesn't
trash
mean it's
regardless.
good.
No offense, but like
I
it's
know,
really
but
not that good when people are healthy.
that's that whole
either.
thing. That's that whole mindset, that next man up, right? That's a great mindset to have. That's a
For
great
us, it is.
attitude.
For us, it really is because we know we have next man up.
Right. That's a great attitude to have. But that doesn't mean you're going to play well. Those guys who are next man up,
We're going to be fine.
they're third and fourth stringers for a reason. I always say
know.
that.
But they have,
They're
they're
not good.
turned into first and second string for a reason too, because our O line cannot stay healthy
Right.
the entire season,
And that's bad. And that's bad. Hey, and Schweitzer, I think, is a very good guard, and I think he's pretty good
He
just
wasn't
as an
bad
offensive
center, right?
lineman.
Yeah.
But as a center, he ain't it, man. They had major troubles when he was in.
We just need him to
Major.
get by for the Giants game, and at least we had an extra week to get him acclimated at the center position.
Yeah, that's true.
Him and
He's
he's
had
had
more
he's had
extra time.
camaraderie or continuity with Taylor Heineke because he's played more snaps with backups than he has with any other quarterback. So
Yeah.
I am a little worried because 5 sacks last week with or without Tyler Larson. So it is what it is. No matter who's up, we just got to hold off the sacks. Just have to.
Yeah, and I don't even think that's the major part of it. I think it's just the snaps. For whatever reason, that time Wes Martin was in here, he just wasn't getting it right to him. The timing was off everywhere. Remember, he's the one that makes all the calls, all the line calls and everything. So, I mean, I think it's a huge deal. I think it's huge.
Do you think Scott Turner is putting our quarterbacks in a bad spot / position by calling these 5 or 7 step dropbacks for passes rather than a quick?
How many of those has he actually called though in recent
Yeah,
memory?
I don't know.
I really don't think
it's hard
he's
to tell
calling.
with Taylor.
Yeah, that's fair. I
really
don't
is.
think he's calling too many of those because he knows Taylor Heineke's not a 7-step, 7-drop kind of guy. He's somebody who, that being said, he's also not calling a whole lot of scrambles and rollouts. Although we are starting to see those in the playbook. We saw those last week against the Giants.
And he said today on conference, Taylor said, "I don't want to scramble if I don't have to."
Well, I think that's insane, to be honest.
Why would you say that?
And here's something that maybe helps a little bit. Okay, Carson's back, right? He's been activated off of IR, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be the backup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now maybe they have a little bit more confidence in who is the backup, and maybe they'll call more of those plays for Taylor to roll out, read option. You know what I mean? So because they're not afraid, oh my gosh,
If
Taylor
he gets
goes
out of the
down,
game, they're
we
having
got
to
Sam
put
Howell
in
going in
Sam
there.
Howell.
So now they got Carson back there. Now they're going to be like, okay, let's go ahead and call more of these plays for Taylor. And it could be a possibility. He might be saying that just to throw the Giants off. Who knows? Maybe the whole game plan is let's have Taylor all over the place with his legs, as they said, as Joshua said there. That's what makes him different. That's what makes him a better backup than most is his legs.
He followed that up by saying we should get the ball and playmakers, let them do what they have to do.
Well, that's true. That's
it's like, well, then you got to get to him first, though.
And I think it's important for him to not become a scrambling QB, to only scramble when he needs to, because this guy's looking to have a 10-year career in the NFL as a backup. And for that to happen, he can't be running out there and pulling a Colt McCoy and getting knocked out on his first play, so this is something that I think he's just kind of being smart, and that's one of the aspects that I think they want him to work on. We've talked a lot about how he always just seemed to kind of even though he's been in the league for a while, his first instinct always seemed to be run. And he's trying to work on that, and you see him, and he's waiting and trying to help these plays develop and get the ball to an open receiver, especially because that wide receiver core is good. No joke. Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, and Jahan Dotson are good wide receivers. Not just like average. We're talking, as a unit, this could be one of the top 10 units in the NFL, maybe higher. I'm burgundy and gold glasses tell me maybe it's top 5. I went with top 10 because that's relatively safe. They're good wide receivers. You give them 3 to 5 seconds, they're going to find their way open against anybody back there.
Well, do you think maybe we should go a little bit more quick, no huddle, up tempo style? Offense.
We did see a little bit of that against the Giants, which I was surprised, but whether or not they're going to consistently do that, remember, and this is what we talked about it before, Trevor, was this is a ball control offense. This is an offense that wants to bleed time off the clock. They want to give their defense that rest time. And if you go up tempo and you go 3 and out, you took maybe 40 seconds off the clock and put your defense right back out there. Even if you don't go 3 and out, let's say you have 7 plays and you punt, you took off a minute 30, 2 minutes. No, this offense wants to eat up clock. They want 4-minute drives. They want 10-minute drives that end in even 3 points, because they're betting that their defense is going to hold the other team to 0 points, and those 3 points cumulative are going to win.
I agree with that. That's probably in their game plan to not run that up tempo unless they have to. But I think they should incorporate it at least once in a while, because we've seen his success at it.
Yeah, Taylor thrives when the pressure's on. He's got to go. The adrenaline's up. And I hate to say it, I can't believe I'm saying something positive about number 4, but he does.
That's when
when he used those legs in the Tampa Bay game, both games, like that. I mean, see how explosive our offense was. We just kept our offense moving with his legs, and I feel like he's had multiple chances to do that, and he just doesn't do it. He'd rather sit back and make a highlight throw, and it ends up being intercepted or nearly intercepted.
He's just got to manage the offense, right? Don't do anything crazy,
right? Because it's prime time. Don't get in that. That's the biggest number one thing to beat the Giants is mindset. Do not sleep on they just got blown out and we tied them, so we're definitely going to beat them. No, it's Sunday night football. Everybody's watching you. Yeah. So just stick to your game plan and don't feel like you have to play down to their level in order to win. And I think we did that on Sunday. I think
this is a whole new game. Ignore the tie. Yep. The tie just means it's 0-0 right now in this Sunday night football game.
This is a playoff game.
It is. Absolutely. And I think the team is starting to talk like that. They're saying, hey, we need to go 4-0 to make the playoffs. So they're just like, hey, this is what we have to do. And you talked about the game plan, Trev. Stoner, what's the game plan?
For Washington?
Yep. It's 4 simple words.
Run the ball. Yeah, absolutely. That's where
try to set you up clean, but you fumbled the handoff there. Yes. So I had to lead you into
Antonio Gibson. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, they do. They just need to run the ball as much as possible, control the clock, obviously limit their mistakes. This has to be their game plan throughout the year, as long as you have a quarterback who is not capable of carrying the team. And that's the same for the Giants too. That's what the Giants need to do. If they want to win the game, they need to control the clock. They need to control the running game, the line of scrimmage that way. Don't turn the ball over, because they don't have a quarterback who can put the team on their shoulder and lead them to victory. So it's the same thing. Both teams are going to try and do that. It's going to be a fast game. It's going to be the clock's just going to be moving and moving and moving. You're probably going to see upwards of, I'm going to say, combined, I think you're going to see more than 75 run plays in this game. There's going to be a lot of running.
Wow.
And it's going to take two and a half hours for this game, and it's going to be over. that quick. If that's just what both teams want to do, and they're just going to limit their quarterbacks. It's a night game. It's going to be cold. It's going to be dry.
If we have
cold, so
and that's huge. Another way we win is if our injury report remains the same as it did today, which was we had 0 DNPs at practice today.
Why don't you go ahead and bring that up, because we had some questions about that. And while you're bringing that up here, we're going to answer Gus Bus's question.
All right.
Stoner, what if the Giants stop the run?
Yeah.
Then what? By the way, Giants not good at stopping the run. Their opponents have run the ball for an average of 5.4 yards per attempt. For a total of 1,946 yards, and 15 rushing touchdowns, 149 yards a game.
Yeah, and their best lineman, Leonard Williams, I think he was limited in practice today, and I'm not sure how much he's going to play. And even if he does play, he's not going to be 100%. So the question is, what if they do stop the run? Well, then you're going to have to rely on your quarterback, and things are not going to go well if you do that. There are plays that he can make, but if they are forced to throw the ball a lot because the Giants are shutting down the run, you're in a lot of trouble. This team's in a lot of trouble. Both sides. Same with the Giants. If we shut down their run and Danny Dimes has to go back there and try and throw it 35, 40 times, they're in trouble. It's the same thing. So yeah, if they stop the run, I mean, you still gotta keep trying. Even if you're averaging 3.5 yards a carry, you still need to go out there and just keep running it. Maybe you wear them down, and then in the second half, you can start opening up some of those holes a little bit better.
Does Daniel Jones have a better career if he had our roster?
If he had our roster, I think he'd be better than what he is now. I don't think he'd be any kind of superstar.
I'm not so concerned about the roster as the coaching. I don't know that either the Giants or the Commanders would be able to coach him into being a better QB.
Well, that's what everyone was saying at the beginning of the year, that Brian Daboll was coaching him into being a better QB, limiting his turnovers, and that's why they were winning. That's why they were beating Baltimore. That's why they were beating Green Bay, things like that, because he wasn't making the big mistakes. But the reason they were winning is because Saquon Barkley was running all over the place, and they were controlling the clock and limiting his opportunities to throw.
And the defense was playing better than it has been over these last few weeks there.
All right, so I'm about to read off everybody that was limited today because, like I said, we had 0 DNPs.
For Washington.
DNP did not participate, for anybody want to know. Limited up first. Antonio Gibson, foot.
He'll play.
Dax Milne, foot.
I don't know.
Andrew Norwell, shoulder.
He'll play.
Brian Robinson Jr., quad. He'll play. He got the Sports Illustrated Award with Steph Curry. He's fine. Cam Sims, back.
He'll probably play.
James Smith-Williams, concussion.
I don't know.
Benjamin St. Juste, ankle.
He'll play.
Yep. Montez Sweat, concussion. They said he'll play. I saw reports that said that he's on track to play.
All right.
He was in the field today, so that's good. Trey Turner, he's back. He'll probably play.
Yeah.
Chase Young.
He'll play. Chase Young is playing.
We'll get to that in a second.
Yep.
That's all limited. 2 full participants. Sam Cosmi, ankle.
Right. So
which is great. And then Jamin Davis, thumb. He had a procedure done over the bye week, and they said it's fine. So it was a planned procedure too. So it wasn't like anything that just came up.
Yep.
So that's really good. I think if everybody is healthy enough to play, we have an even better shot of beating New York.
Yeah. You know who's not on that injury list?
Taylor Heinicke. Carson Wentz.
Well, yeah, Carson Wentz, who was activated, and he will be the backup. But you know who's not? Terry McLaurin.
Oh, yeah.
Jahan Dotson.
De'Ami Brown.
Curtis Samuel. Right? Your playmakers.
Mm-hmm.
I know Gibson and Robinson are, but they're going to play.
Mm-hmm.
Your playmakers are healthy.
Yes.
Get them the ball in space, and let's see what happens. But for sure, Gibby left, Gibby right, Robinson left, Robinson right. Just keep doing that all game, and then all of a sudden the defense comes up, and then you throw over the top on
do a little
Terry.
play action.
Yeah, a little 3-step drop, not a 7-stepper, right? It's an easy game. Football's
ball's intercepted. It's
tipping a great coach.
You still have to execute.
You do have to execute.
Let's get back to that run left, run right. What are we doing, Trav?
Run the ball.
That's right. That's the game plan. You
That's
see
it.
how that set up and worked perfectly, Stoner? See
Yeah,
how
sorry,
that was
my
supposed
bad.
to go?
Now, next year when Lamar Jackson is the quarterback, then I won't promote the
Get rid
need
of
to run the
Gibby
ball left and
and
right.
go get Tony Pollard. But that's here, neither there. So we'll keep going about the Giants on Sunday, Nathan. Let's go.
I want to take it back because it seemed like you had some words to say
About
Chase Young there. Michael asks, why would you play Young? He doesn't need to play. Command D's coming in. If Chase plays this Sunday, it's going to snow the following week.
You know, this is no offense to Alex Smith at all, because injuries are injuries, and I wish everybody was speedy recovery, blah, blah, blah. But like, I'm more nervous about Chase Young stepping on the field after an injury than I was Alex Smith after his injury.
Why is that?
Longevity for probably one, right? This is a kid at the start of his career still.
We drafted him number 2 overall. He's a quote-unquote generational talent. He's a freak, nicknamed Predator. We saw it his rookie year. And he's a huge part of our defensive line. Granted, they're playing like he never was drafted on our squad right now. That's how they're playing right now. But I just want him back 100,000% healthy, because him added to the defensive line, because this alludes to Stoner's assumption that Deron Payne's gone. Okay, cool. We get Fedarian Mathis back. Okay, cool. But imagine Chase Young added to that now. That'll help out the interior line too, because then you have to worry about Montez and Chase, not just Montez. You have 2 edge rushers, let the middle eat. So he's vital to what our defensive line needs and what's doing right now. And I'm just really nervous to him stepping on the field when playoff chances are at stake.
If he's
but if he's healthy, you play him because he wants to play football.
Yeah.
You can put him on the pitch count. That was my counter argument. You can put him on the pitch count.
Yeah.
15 snaps, maybe even 10. I would even go more than 10, honestly. Third down situational pass rushing is what I would do. I wouldn't even bring him in and start a rotation. Let's do him third down or whatever situational defense you have.
Yeah.
And go from there.
Bring him in the first 3rd and 13 that the Giants have. That's when you bring him in just for something like that.
Yeah.
But absolutely, you play Chase Young. He's going to help your football team if he's healthy, if he's cleared, if he's ready, if the coaches have seen everything that they need to see. You don't sit a guy because you're worried about him getting hurt. Okay? You never do that. You never say, let's wait until next year.
They did that for last game at least because it was on turf.
Last game. Oh, you're talking about the last game that they played?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We said it wasn't because of the turf, but it probably was because
Chase Young said after practice today in an interview, he said it was pretty smart them holding me out for turf because that's how people get injured. We've seen already, so it was a smart move to hold me out. So he gave that.
What was Kyler Murray playing on last night Monday
night?
He got hurt.
He just.
I mean, he was playing on a natural field, and he had a non-contact blues.
Was it natural?
Out.
Arizona has natural grass in the dome.
I'm pretty sure it does. We can look at it, but when I was looking at it, I was like, "That's natural."
I'll look that up. I'll look that up here in a little bit because it's not really pertinent to it. So it'd be something I do behind the scenes here.
Yeah. But you play Chase. Period.
You have to, and this is where I want to. A lot of people have talked about maybe you don't play him because he's going to disrupt what's already being a good unit. This team did get after Daniel Jones 5 times. They got 5 sacks, 5 tackles for loss. What impact does Chase have stepping onto the field? Do those numbers increase for you? And if they do, or if they do change, what do you expect them to change to?
Because knowing that that Chase is on the field, and you haven't seen tape of him all year, because that offensive line that the New York Giants have are some new cats on there too. They don't know what to expect. They know his name and kind of all their focus on him now, which frees up other guys, which takes the attention off of Deron Payne, which takes away the double teams and triple teams from the inside that we've been facing all year. So just having him on the field creates that mental aspect, that mental advantage for us against opposing offensive lines.
And I think there's an advantage to your, what's the right word? Just kind of your attitude. Somebody mentioned it earlier about just him being there. His presence will uplift guys. He has that presence about him with this team. Yeah. Okay. He's not a guy who sulks around is a problem with chemistry in the locker room. He's a leader, okay? And so you want a guy like that out there, and that will lift other guys up. And there is something to that. That doesn't mean they're going to play better overall and they're going to get more sacks or anything like that, but it is going to give them a little boost throughout the course of the game, I believe, if he's actually out there helping the team. So that's what I would do.
Just for the record, I did look it up. It is a retractable playing field. So it is natural grass, but it's rolled out. So it sits on a tray, a 40-inch deep tray. And so they were able to roll it out and then roll it back in and they like roll it up. It's very interesting. So not quite turf, but not quite a natural field. It's kind of a in between.
Little hybrid.
Some cool. Coaches don't like it from what I saw. So very, very, very interesting there. I have seen the statistics. You're no more likely to injure yourself on turf than it is grass, at least by the numbers count. So
play him, period.
Play him.
Yep. Got to play him. And I expect some big things from him.
Me too.
If Chase Young gets 3 sacks, I'm
losing my mind if he gets 1 sack.
I know we're gonna be in a suite for this game, guys, but I will probably be shirtless and have somebody draw 99 Nathan, on me if he has 3 sacks.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Stoner, you're with us too.
Oh, for sure.
By the way,
somebody's gonna be the hashtag.
The Commandalorian asked me to bring the onesie to the game. I can't. That jinx it. That's a jinx. I cannot do it. I've not done that before. I don't feel comfortable doing it because that's anticipating it. I don't even bring out the onesie until the game's until the game's won. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have it in the car. I just don't know.
EP packs it and you don't even know about it. You watch.
Yeah, all right, there we go. That might be the workaround there for the onesie. She sneaks it in
for
me.
Oh my God, Nathan, what? Your onesie's here.
Because I absolutely have no problem rocking that thing all the way back to the parking lot. Zero problem. I'll be commando underneath that thing.
Okay.
I have zero problem with that. If they win. If they win, I had zero problem with that. We talked a lot about what they need to do to win.
Yes.
How are they going to get stopped? How does this turn south for Washington? What goes wrong, Stoner?
Very simple. They don't run the. Oh, I thought you were setting me up.
You guys got to get the alley-oops down, man. You guys are awful.
Right. No, so I think it's pretty simple. If Taylor throws the ball more than 35 times, how many did he have last time against
41.
the Giants?
41.
He had 41. Yeah. If he has more than 35 passes, then they're in trouble. That's how it'll go south. Simply turning the ball over and have him back there throwing it too much. We've got a year and a half, we've got almost 2 years of tape on him. All right. We know who he is, right? We know what his limitations are. So try not to put those limitations on display and have him throwing the ball all over the place. So that's how it'll go south. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to go south.
No.
I'm not necessarily saying that Washington's going to win. I'm just saying I don't think it's going to go south, which to me, going south means everything bad's going to happen.
It always does this.
It'll go south. If Carson Wentz is in the game, that's when you know it's gone south.
Oh, you need to stop. He kicked off the winning streak. Hurt. But no one seems to remember that. The man had a bad arm tendon, a bum ankle, and a fractured finger. And we won 12-7 in the cold on Thursday night. I was at the bar working, and we ran the ball, and we went away from the ball, and I was wondering why, and we give it back to Gibby and B-Rob, and we won that game, and he kicked off the winning streak.
That's
so
a game.
How dare you? And we scored points in the first game. I don't care if it was first game, but we looked explosive. We looked like Terry was going to make the Pro Bowl off of stats alone, not because of his name. But no. So don't give me that, Stoner.
That's the game that's one of the games this year that Washington should not have won that game. They should not have won that game. I mean, the way that Chicago gave them that game at the end when they couldn't punch it in those last few plays, they did not deserve to win that game.
Yes, they did. Just like
Carson
they won
Wentz
the ball
for
over 200
yards
and they still lose, the Bears.
Yeah.
So they find ways to lose, and they found one that night. Okay, so there's that.
As
But
I like
how
to
it goes
say,
down
ball
south,
bounces, ball bounces.
turnovers. Taylor Heineke tries to play hero ball, and defense just plays completely opposite, like being undisciplined, over aggressive, trying to do too much, trying to get the last Pro Bowl vote in, or reason why you should have voted for me Pro Bowl. This is why. Like, no, just fundamentally sound. Stick to the game plan. It's a playoff game. Boom. That's it.
Pretty easy.
It is very much a playoff game, and it's one at a time here. So Joshua wants to know about the rookie QB in San Fran. That game's coming up. That game's going to be talked about later. We can't talk about it now because we got to win this game against the Giants.
Irrelevant.
and you talked about it being a playoff game. This is how important. This is the odds according to Football Outsider.
Oh, yes.
If Washington wins this game, 86% chance.
Yep.
To
we're
make
at what,
the playoffs
74 right now, right?
Yeah, we're in the 70s. And then if they lose this game, they only have a 28% chance.
That's right.
This is a huge game for Washington. They cannot afford to back down from the fight. You got to see them, win this one. And we're going to give our predictions here coming up in the cool down.
The cool down is brought to you by Manscaped. Ever since my Nathan started using their products, I can't cool down. Fellas, trust me. Go to Manscaped right now and get 20% off and free shipping by using the code REF. Your ladies will appreciate you. Now back to Trev, Stoner, and my Manscaped man, Nathan.
Lots of talk earlier when I joked about going commando or bringing the onesie. It's called confidence, Nathan. That's what Joshua says. Well, you know how I have that confidence? Because I got that Manscaped body EP he's talking about. And you can have that too. All you have to do is go out to manscaped.com. Use the code REF for 20% off. Get yourself free shipping with that as well. Great stocking stuffer. Guarantee you there. And I was about to make it.
Yeah, I went there too. I'm so glad you did it. This is a stocking stuffer. I looked at Stoner and I was like, no.
We're just going to skirt around that one and continue on. Maybe bring this one up. I got the sound on low. Let me try that again. There you go. Clifton with $5 super sticker. We appreciate you, Clifton, for that donation and our silliness that happens here on Ref the District. Much appreciated. We got the scores rolling in here. Warren's taking Washington 27-17. Cam 35-20.
Yep.
Daniel 24-14. The Commanders. Trev, where are you sitting on this one?
Ooh. Commanders are going to win this game. I think we're going to score points. Crowd's going to be rocking. What color jerseys are we wearing? Do you guys know? All burgundy?
I was going to look that up, actually.
Isn't it a blackout?
It's not. I don't think it's a blackout, but I'm going to.
I thought it was a blackout.
We're going to be up in the suite. It's going to be on Sunday Night Football.
Okay, I thought it was a blackout.
We're going to win 23-9.
Wow.
I don't even think they scored a touchdown this game, man. I think Eagles have just – the score was way closer than what the game was on Sunday with the Eagles.
Burgundy, by the way.
Burgundy? Okay. Yeah, we're just going to – it's going to be kind of a boring game because that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
But 23-9.
I don't know why I thought this was a blackout game, but oh well. All right, 23-9. That's what Trev's got. Nathan?
No, you get to go before me because I know what you're trying to do. Here, I'm going to give you some help, though. We got 31-10, 27-16. We always assume, let's see no one, and we always assume Washington's the victor in those ones. Commandees came from the EP school of scoring, 17-27, right hand up. Actually, are they picking the Giants then?
Yes, I'm saying. Is that with the right hand up?
Joshua 37-12. Shady Katie in the house. Appreciate her jumping in here.
Another
Not
tie?
though for this. She's taking 27-27, another tie. Steven 24-14. Clifton coming all the way up from North Carolina to see this game. You didn't listen all of us 7 coming. I'm so glad you didn't listen all of 7 of us coming. My head hurts, so that's why I'm confused there. Doug with 30. Thanks, Doug, for jumping in here. 31-17. Commander Lorian 24-19. EP 24-23. Commanders. Gus Bus saying time to crush the windpipe. Commanders 34. Giants 10. All right, what do we got, Stoner?
All right, so here's the problem. All right. Sorry, Trev, 2 words for you. Okay. Taylor Heineke. All right. They've had time off. They've got some guys healthy. They didn't need to game plan. There are so many advantages that they have in this game. The Giants went out and got crushed by the Eagles. The Giants have lost like 6 of 7, something like that. They're in a tailspin. They've got this. This is it for them. If they don't win this game, they're done.
So
now,
their odds are actually better than ours. It's a 90% chance with the win, 31 with a loss. So we're actually behind them on that one.
That's a bunch of malarkey.
Nah.
But because they've got Minnesota,
like doesn't pass the sniff test.
They've got Minnesota, they've got Philly again.
Yeah.
They've got Dallas, I believe, and Indy. Okay. They've got a tougher schedule than Washington does. We've got Brock Purdy, Deshaun Watson, and Dallas again.
We have the 49ers defense and Dallas, which are 2 of the best teams.
And Dallas might be resting their starters depending on what they do.
Yeah. So listen, they've got everything on the line this week. Washington kind of does. Now, I've said it for a while. Washington wins this game, they're going to the playoffs. Now the percentages are kind of catching up with what I've been saying, but all they need to do is win this game and 1 more after that, and that's going to be good enough to get in, because the Lions aren't going 4-0 after I think they've won 5 of 6. They're not going to win their last 5 and win 10 of 11 or whatever it's going to end up being. It's not happening. Sorry. So don't worry about them. Then you got Seattle that they can get in, whatever, win this game. However, I've got problems with the offensive line. I've got problems with the play calling, and I've got problems at the most important position, which is quarterback.
For us or probably
for us. They've got all those same problems too. It's at home. It's prime time. Everything is leaning Washington's way, and that's what scares me.
You said this every time something leads towards our way, and
I'm going 24-20.
Washington.
The Washington Commanders. Yes, sir. For all those reasons I said. For all those reasons I said, everything is going their way, and I think it continues because the Giants are terrible.
But they get 20?
But they get 20. They get 20. Because they have, in 2 words, why they get 20. Saquon Barkley.
He was banged up. He wasn't
even on their injury report.
No, he's not on the injury report anymore.
So
and he played Sunday. He's fine.
So they were probably just saving him. They knew that he was going to, they knew that this game against Washington was the important one. So that's what they went for is kind of keep him in reserve there, because he only had 9 attempts for 28 yards.
Yeah.
He's not been averaging.
They were getting their butts whooped.
Yes. He hasn't been. Well, he still only had 2 targets, 2 receptions on 2 targets for 20 yards in the passing game. So they just weren't using him much at all. And he ran 18 times against Washington for 63 yards, 11 times against Dallas for 39, Detroit 15 for 22. Those god-awful Detroit Lions, as Stoner likes to say. His last big game came against Houston, 35 attempts, 152 yards, and a touchdown.
And I don't think the Lions are god-awful, by the way. I think they're better than the Giants. I think they're way better than the Giants. And I'm not saying that they're not going to get a playoff spot, but they're not going to get a playoff spot over Washington. So they might take Seattle's spot, which they're not even in right now, but I'm just saying, right? They might
sneak in as the 7th seed.
Right. They might sneak in as the 7th seed over the Giants or over Seattle, but they're not overcoming Washington. It's as long as Washington wins this game, which I believe they will, and 1 more, they're going to get in at 9-7-1 at worst.
So I have a question about that, but Nathan, I want to hear a score prediction because my question will probably have a long answer to it, knowing us.
All right. Well, my score prediction is 27-16.
Oh no, he's picking New York.
It's a clean sweep here on Ref the District. It is Washington getting the W here. I just feel like these two teams are still trending in opposite directions. That tie was kind of where they met in the middle. They are very much the same team. They're a defense-driven, run-based team. The problem is the Giants' defense is starting to be very leaky, and the run game isn't holding up as well because just like we don't have a QB to lean on, their QB isn't strong to lean on. The biggest difference is our QB can lean on Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Jahan Dotson.
What?
But Daniel Jones is leaning on Darius Slayton, Hodges. Like these are not of the same caliber.
That's right.
And so they're going in opposite directions. And I think the Giants, after a strong start, are going to kind of fizzle. But I think that will work out for them long term because they'll have the fourth place schedule next year to kind of build off of. I think that they have got a great head coach there. I like Daboll. I think that he's very solid. I think he's a solid coach. And I think that if anybody's going to get the most out of Daniel Jones, it's going to be him.
He's already got the most out of Daniel Jones. That's the most you're going to get is what they got out of him this year. So, yeah, I totally agree. I think he can do wonders, but it's Daniel Jones. You're not going to get any better than what you've gotten this year. So they're going to be looking for a new quarterback next year as well.
All right. Well, that is a clean sweep for us here. We'll do some game predictions. I do want to remind you of what game this is. EP wrote it, missed it. Let's see if I have it.
Inspire Change.
Here. It is the Inspire Change. I lost it. But it's also Toys for Tot. Bring a toy there. And make sure you got that. It's also, I believe, here we go. Theme is Inspire Change. Key activations include recognition of the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee, which if you're on Twitter, you know that is Charles Leno Jr.
Got sticker on it too.
And then return of the Shop Black Holiday Market. This is really cool thing. Okay. Out in like the Legend area, formerly like the Bud Light area. Yeah. They have a string of just like little tents that have local Black businesses, and they'll have some stuff there. Maybe you can do some Christmas shopping and do that. So yeah, EP came and put it there. So yeah, pretty cool event. Of course, you're gonna be able to see us live as well because we will be there. So Gus Bus, knowing this, says we just got to do a live reaction to the game tomorrow, Thursday Night Football, since you'll be missing us. We're gonna pass on Thursday Night Football, but
I gotta work.
We will be back for Day After Reckoning. But right now, I want to get a couple game predictions in. I
thought Trev had a question he wanted.
He did have a question, right?
I was just gonna say, so it's probably an obvious yes or no, but the tie on our record. That's what makes this such a big must win for us, right? Not if we were like 7-6 or 8-5 at the same juncture, and they were 7-6 because of other teams. Would it still be as a big need of a win if we didn't have a tie?
Well, that just means that they have to pass you. So if they finish 9-8, which Detroit has a good chance to finish 9-8, 9-7-1 is not passing you. They have to get to 10 wins.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean, right? So. Yeah. Teams will have to get to 10 wins to overcome Washington.
Because we have
if they go 9-7-1 which is what I think they'll do, which is 2-2 in these last 4, right? Okay. So they've got to get to 10, not 9.
Gotcha.
So because they have one more loss than us. That tie is not a negative against us. Now the problem is like it didn't count as a win either. So if someone gets to 10, we're only at 9. That's the problem. Gotcha. As long as they have the same number of wins, they have more losses than we do, and that's going to give us the up.
You hear that, Roger Goodell? Get rid of the tie. So we don't have to do math outside of school, okay?
Detroit is 6-7 right now. That means they have to go 4-0 to leapfrog Washington.
Oh yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? And if Washington goes 2-2 and beats the Giants this week. because they'll have all the tiebreakers over the Giants. So if the Giants go 2-2 in their last 4, then we'll have the tiebreaker, even if you have the exact same record. We'll have the tiebreaker over them because we beat them head to head because the tie is kind of wiped out. Okay. So you don't even have to go to any other tiebreakers. So go 2-2, one of those beating the Giants. Don't worry about Detroit. They're not going 4-0, right? And they're not.
That's our biggest playoff threat, pretty much, is Detroit.
Detroit and Seattle.
In Seattle, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
If you beat the Giants, if you beat the Giants are not overpassing you.
Yeah, no.
So you got to beat the Giants, and then you just have to worry about Seattle, who just lost to a horrible team, as Stoner mentioned, and Detroit has to run the table.
They have to run the
that's table. Why those chances. That's why, again, Football Outsiders, 86% chance if they win this game, they're going to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
Katie, do not bring any of that stupid bad cowboy juju with you on Sunday either. And I know you're watching and listening. Do not.
Yeah, I'm hoping. We've been chatting about the World Cup with my brother, and every team she backs loses. So I need to put her in some Giants blue come Sunday just to keep that level of jinx away from us. So that's how it's going to go, but it's not going to go that way. We've all predicted it. Clean sweep here on Ref the District. Let's get in a couple of game predictions as we'll be out there, and then Stoner's going to have to keep a notebook as we do.
The dollar
dollars at the game.
I'm going to start mine off with this right here. We see Landon Collins on the field at some point during the game Sunday.
Is that $1 or is that just
that's $1? I'm going to put $1 on that. He didn't show up last game, but it's all or nothing for him this year. So this game, he might, because it's a reunion,
Yeah.
Just for the headlines, I don't know. It's probably way off. He probably won't, but you never know.
I'm not going to get in on that just because. I have no insight into what's going on with their linebackers and all that. So
I don't have enough insight to go one way or another.
Yeah.
That's why it's called gambling. You don't have any insight on anything, you fools.
You do have. You have feelings, gut feelings, and insights and stuff like that.
Well, don't be scared. It's only $1.
I got insight that the Wizards are going to lose tonight because KP and Beal are both not playing.
If they were both playing, they would lose.
No, they wouldn't. They would win this game.
Trev, you're probably not wrong there. Let's get back to the Commanders here. Smitty Jr. with a couple dollars here for us.
Just want to bypass the Landon Collins and
we're not taking it. Yeah, we're just not taking it. That's what we're saying.
Scared.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, how about this one, Trev? $1 from Smitty here. Terry with over 100 yards. He had 105 yards in the 2020 tie. Is he going to have that level of impact? Again, we know Taylor Heineke loves throwing the ball. That shirt is amazing. I'm still disappointed I didn't think of it. But what do you think? Terry over 100 yards?
And Jahan with a touchdown?
Yeah, that's a separate one. He separated those by $1 sign.
Terry with over 100 yards. No, I don't think so. It's going to be a completely different game plan with Terry.
Yeah, I don't think he will either.
How about 85?
Over 85?
Over 85 yards.
Why you want the under? You're trying to get us
I'm taking the over. I'm taking 85 or more. Would you guys think he's going to have less than 85 yards?
Yep.
Well, I'll take 100. If you're taking over 100, I'll take under.
I said 85. I didn't say over 100. I said 85.
Okay, well, no, because you said you think he'll have over 100.
He's taking the under of 100. I said he's going to have
no. I said that he's going to have more than 85. Trev, you said under.
Yeah.
So Trev's taking me. So you can write that one down. I said over 85.
I ain't scared to lose $1. It's only 4 quarters.
It's also you are so in the hole. You've got nothing to lose at this point, especially with it not being real money. And Stoner, you're not taking it? You think are you with me?
No, I'm staying out of it.
Get off the fence, Stoner.
I'm being so scared, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm out. I will say this. I'll say Curtis Samuel will have combined over 110.
Combined over 110?
Over 110.
I'll take that.
All right, Stoner.
I'll take that. Smitty's down there.
Samuel plus 110.
Curtis Samuel,
Yards.
63 receiving yards and 23 rushing yards.
Who
You're
says
saying
that?
That was
You're
Curtis
saying-
Samuel last game against the
Oh.
Giants.
Curtis
So
Samuel
85
over-
or 95?
95,
all-
right?
95?
all-purpose yards?
Where are you at, Trev?
All-purpose yards?
Yeah.
No,
110.
85. We were right, 85.
110?
Yeah. You're going to see Curtis Samuel all over the place on Sunday.
Yeah, running in motion half the damn time. No, I'll say it. No, not. It's gonna
All
be
right.
less than 110 because Jahan Dotson, after we saw what he can do,
Ah,
he can get the
Nathan,
ball more.
you got Trev on your side on that one.
It's fine, dog.
Hey, he had a good week against the Giants last time,
Okay.
remember?
All
He had a
right.
good one. I love the banter back
Hold on, I
here.
don't like the fact that I'm being used
As a
like,
gauge. We did that
no.
last season too, Trev. We definitely were like, wait, Trev, which side are you on? Okay, we're opposite Trev. We're just gonna go opposite Trev. I love this from Sean Walker here. Taylor passes for 425 yards and 4 touchdowns.
This ain't the XFL, bro.
No, Michael's response
yeah,
was
yeah.
like the rest of the season.
Yes. Yes.
That made me laugh, Michael. That was wonderful. That was great. I think I actually have a rim shot here. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, that was good. That was perfect. Yeah, definitely not throwing for 425 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's just not going to happen. We have a lot of Jahan Dotson TDs in the chat. How many? Yeah,
He got-
over 1?
Nah, 1.
Just solid 1.
Mm-mm.
Trev
Never
says
another
1. Anytime touchdown taker is Trev.
Yeah.
Stoner saying no.
Yeah. Come on. What is Stoner? What
Nope.
are you doing, bro?
I'm with Stoner on this one. Touchdowns are very tricky. He did get a touchdown last time, 5 catches, 54 yards, and that wonderful spin move
Yeah, he got
into
that
the
on
end
his own.
zone.
How about this? Taylor has 0 passing TDs. They'll have 3 or 4. They'll have 3 rushing touchdowns.
Do you want to get on this one with commandees? Taylor's getting a rushing TD.
He might. Yeah. Yeah.
No, he's
But I'll
not.
do that separate. That's
You'll do
not
that
an
separate.
and.
So you're saying zero passing touchdowns from Taylor
Heineke.
Heineke.
I'll take that. He's definitely gonna have 1.
Gosh, dang
Zero
it, Trev. Why do I got to
passing.
be with you on this?
Because you
Trev.
love me.
Trev and
I-
Nathan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
All right.
I,
And
I think he's gonna get 1. It's not
Losing
gonna.
our money.
Now, where's the trick to this is Taylor Heineke's 2 touchdowns last time weren't really a product of him throwing it,
That's what I'm saying.
as it was the wide receivers doing the work. Jahan Dotson spins and gets that one.
That's what
Terry
he'll do.
McLaurin gets away from his guy and waltzes into the end
Mhm.
zone. I just have a lot of faith in these receivers. Plus, sometimes Taylor, man, he does just throw those darts and out of nowhere. So at least one passing touchdown from.
All right. I'll also say that he'll have a rushing touchdown. Taylor will. Stoner.
Are you serious right now? The man
Heineke,
doesn't even want to run for 5 yards. He'll have a rushing
at least
touchdown.
one rush TD.
You're on your own on that one. Actually, I'll take you on that. Give me that $1.
I'll be on. Gosh,
Come on,
dang
Nate.
it.
You know he's not going to run.
You
for
want to
a
go
touchdown.
against it, don't you?
When is he going to
I
run for a
did until
touchdown?
Trev winning.
I'm never wrong against the Giants. It's me, baby.
You did have amazing game predictions for the Giants. Will Taylor Heineke get a rushing touchdown?
only
I
provided
just said
one
he's going to
so
get a
far.
passing touchdown. I'm going to say he's not going to get a rushing
All
touchdown.
right. You're with Trev.
I got
Well,
one.
I'm loving this. I'm
Taylor
sweeping.
Heineke has 2 turnovers on Sunday: a strip sack, fumble lost, and an interception.
Okay, are you saying 2 turnovers or
Just stop
specifically
there,
those?
Trev. 2 turnovers.
He got us on the
No.
Doesn't matter
parlay
how.
last time.
It
He
doesn't
got us
matter
on the
how.
parlay. He
I
was like-
did this last
He's
week.
like,
on
I'm not going to
Sunday.
have an
You did.
he's not going to have an interception, but he is going to have a sack fumble. And sure as heck, he did not have
did.
an interception.
He's gonna have
but
both.
did have the
He's
sack
gonna-
fumble.
It's going to be a hell of a roller coaster.
I'm
ride
against
Sunday,
this one,
boys.
Trev.
We're going
I'm
to be
against this
puking
one. I
and
don't.
All
I
right.
puking all over the suite because that roller coaster ride. on
the
Sunday.
the center position does scare me. I do feel like we're going to see some miscues there,
Mhm.
and something
Oh, no.
bad's going to happen from it.
No.
But I don't. And of course, Taylor Heineke throws a lot of should be interceptions.
Yeah. He had to close his eyes when he said that. He was reliving all those interceptions just now. He was like, should be interception.
I got one for you defensively.
Are you guys taking me on that or not?
Yeah, we both are.
Oh yeah, I'm not. I'm saying he's not going to throw. He's not going to have the 2 turnovers specifically as you called them because he stayed to that, right, Stoner? We didn't misinterpret that.
Yeah,
He's
tried
not.
to let him
I
off.
said sack, strip, fumble, lost, and an INT.
Okay. All right. How about this? I believe that Gibson will have a return past the 35.
No, you're going to have to go way deeper than that.
Trev's taking it.
Past the 35? I'm taking it. He's not getting past 35.
Stoner, I'm with you on this one.
Gibson.
He always gets
return
shoestring tackled because he's lazy-footed.
35.
He doesn't pick his foot up off the ground.
Get that man the ladder, right? Do a couple.
I mean,
of
that's
those,
kind of
ladder
true if you
drills.
think about it.
What's that?
He kind of runs dragging his feet.
Let's see.
Yeah, Kevin Schweitzer starting at center better than Martin.
Agreed.
Yeah,
which is I'm not worried
I
about.
think the team agrees because they rather see this guy coming back from injury and who is normally a guard playing center over a guy who normally is just a center. Yeah, big difference maker there. That's the center position is still scary for me. This is, they're going to have to work it out, and I hope that things work. That's one of the times Taylor Heineke was just rocked was miscommunication from the line, and all that comes from the center calling the shots, and I just don't think that it's going to be a pretty game for that.
Daniel Jones, 2 turnovers.
I'm with you, Stoner. I see that happen.
And I'm against.
All right.
How many sacks is Washington going to get? They got 5 last time. Potentially have Chase Young back.
We get 7 with Chase Young back.
Whoa. We're not getting 7.
Chase is going to get 2.
What? You're crazy now, Trev.
Nathan kind of likes it. Nathan kind of likes it.
I was just thinking of trying to get the set the bar at like 5 or 4.5 and see if
7.
Stoner was going to move with this.
7.
And you're going at 7. So now I just have to take the under. I think that they're going to get after Daniel Jones.
It's going to be a nightmare.
But I just don't see a 7-sack game. That would be stupendous, though. That's definitely one of those ones that if I lose, I'm way okay with it because those are exciting and game changing.
We're calling Ryan Kerrigan off the practice squad to suit up for Sunday. So,
how about you, Stoner? 7 sacks for the Commanders? No, we're going to take the under on that one. Fair.
See how they just put me to the side like I'm. Oh no.
Not 7. I mean, 7 is a monster.
We got 5 last week. That's only 2 more.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin with a
No,
great one. Saquon Barkley being held less to 50 yards
Saquon
rushing.
us.
He only had 63 last time.
I will take. All right, so 63 is the number. He'll have more than 63.
He'll have more than 63 this time too, I think.
Yeah.
This might be a big game for Saquon, but we still win somehow.
Can you raise the number up a little bit?
To what?
I'll go 90.
90? I'll take the under on 90.
Damn it, Trev. Why are you messing with my 63? He
I'm
was
learning.
probably thinking like 68 or something.
75 is what
I would have
probably
taken 75. You jumped all the way to 90.
I'll take the under on 90.
They didn't into it because the way you were like, oh, way more than 63. So I'm like, yeah, dog, way more. 90.
That fresca that Trev has right now must
Strictly
be
Fresca,
lit.
This is what happens during a bye week. I miss you guys. I get excited when we get
I told you over chat. I was just like, this bye week's felt like a month.
Yeah.
Hey, Trev.
What up?
I'm with you, Trev. He's more than 90. Let's go.
Just rushing yards.
Damn
We'll
it.
see. We'll
I was
see
gonna-
how it goes.
I
We'll
was
see
like
how it
75.
goes. Any other last game impressions for you guys?
No, we're winning.
Do they mention Dan Snyder on the broadcast? The words Dan Snyder on the
good one.
broadcast. Due to what everything happened.
Sunday night
Congress.
football.
Chris Collinsworth, you know how he is. He love to be digging deep on stuff and
I don't think so.
talking that
Just had the owners' meetings.
Mm-hmm. We're at
Yes.
home. Yes.
Yes, they mentioned Snyder.
Okay.
Dan Snyder specifically.
I don't think they do. I think they might in the lead up to it, or maybe they probably won't even do it at halftime. Maybe in the lead up to it, they'll talk a little bit about Dan Snyder, what's going on, but not during the game.
Chris Collinsworth.
That's
So-
my take.
So from the time
Kickoff.
No, not kickoff. From the time they go to Collinsworth and Tirico to start the game
Oh.
From that time. until
Oh, because they do
when they
have
go
that little
from the studio,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and
No,
then they
I'm
do
saying
Carrie,
from-
is it
from-
Carrie Underwood?
And he does a slide in and they preview
Yeah.
the game before kickoff.
From there.
I'm saying from kickoff until zeros hit the clock. They won't
Okay.
mention Dan Snyder.
Stoner, that's a good one because they might
Yeah, they might just kind of mention it at the very beginning.
They
No,
they might be like, hey, these guys are going to be calling the game. Let's go to talk to them. This is the thought, Dan Snyder. But from kickoff on, Dan Snyder's not.
But they don't
mentioned.
go. I'm not saying they'll go back to the studio or anything. I'm
you're
saying
not gonna get a
when they go to them
know,
and then they start the game.
late in
From
the fourth
kickoff
quarter, Chris
on,
Collinsworth.
They're not
so,
talking Dan
if,
Snyder.
if Dan Snyder decides to sell the team,
No.
Mike, do you think a full rebrand's gonna happen?
That's a hell of a Collinsworth impression, Trev. Okay, I'll let you have it. I'll let you have it from kickoff.
Michael
From
here. I bet the NFL has banned the
kickoff.
use of his name.
I don't know him and Rod. Oh, by the way, Jim Irsay came out and said that he's not ready to vote him out. Different tune than what he said a month ago. Now he wants to.
Well, he
wait
doesn't
even
have to
more.
vote him out. He's just going to sell the
What if he
team here.
doesn't
We got
sell the whole
ourselves a
team?
donation. So Rich 74, $2. Thank you for that. Asking why don't we ever put a returner back on long field goals?
I don't think we've ever had been in that instance.
That you were just against the Giants, and that was
Yeah,
kind of
just
a
that
that was
one.
kind of a question. 58-yarder. Why not put somebody back there? Largely,
That's fair.
the answer it comes down to
Who is it?
yeah, we don't
Who's
have a
in that
Devin Hester.
Yeah, we don't have the
Right?
dude from Auburn and Alabama. Okay?
Like,
Well, let me ask you this.
You can put Alex back there, but because he's the kickoff or kick return specialist, but
Nah.
you're probably not going anywhere. Maybe you put Gibson back there, but it's a low percentage thing. I would have liked them to put somebody back there, but I'm not upset that they didn't do it.
I do have a question, and probably everybody knows the answer. Is that legal in the NFL? I know it is in college.
It is. It is. Devin Hester
have
has a
different
109-yard return for a touchdown off of a missed field goal.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's the answer
absolutely.
right there.
Oh, we did have to, but I was going to try to sign us off, but we do have a legitimate question that we need answered, and we need your help here. Uptown Dre asking, what time do the gates open?
Yeah.
EP coming in here, 3 for the red zone, 4 for all parking lots. We'll be in the red zone. Make sure you swing by. We'll actually have a banner out there for Ref the District, so you'll be able to see us, spot us quite easily. So make sure you hit us up, come by and chat with us. We being EP and the crew that we're taking out want to get out there first thing as gates open, 3:00. Like we're gonna be waiting in line and celebrating with all the other people that are nuts enough to be out there. Stoner thinks that that's just too much.
It's
gonna be so cold out
it's
there. It's gonna
cold.
be so
You guys
cold.
understand it's cold out there.
It's gonna be cold, bro. We're
But my
watching the
feet
game
are
inside.
cold and my tail is cold. What are you, 101 Dalmatians here?
Yeah,
We'll
come
see.
on, man.
We'll see.
Ain't no we'll see. It's
We
a
haven't
once in
figured
a
it out yet.
lifetime. All of us are going to be at FedEx Field together for
Sunday night
now,
football
not just
playoffs are
meaningful football
on
in
the
December.
horizon.
Not,
Hey.
yeah,
I might get there at 3, but I might be inside the suite at 3:15. Okay, where the heat is.
you gonna tailgate inside? Is that what
Yeah,
you're
I'll
gonna do?
tailgate inside
EP's
where
right.
the heat is.
We're gonna have a warmer.
It's gonna be fun.
We're
There's
gonna keep
10 people.
Keep
yeah,
drinking.
well,
Do you have
some
like-
of us
do you
are
have
gonna
like a-
have some liquid heat on us
Right.
and be all right. So, and some of us also have some extra
Come on,
padding,
Stoner, man. Please.
so we'll be
Christmas.
okay in that
We'll
one.
see.
Yeah, it'll
We'll
be anything. Yeah, this will be. Yeah, see, Michael, this is right. Like this, you start at sunup. The only reason why we're not going to be out there earlier is because they don't open up the parking lot earlier. We
Mhm.
will be celebrating the World Cup game at the Perry household. We'll be watching that in the morning.
Yeah, it starts
So-
at 10, right?
It starts
Oh, I
at
should
10.
get there
So
early for
I'm
that. I
doing
should
my
get there
best
for
to make
that.
sure that that's just water during that game. But who
You got
knows? You know, I want
Easy.
Messi to
Don't-
win.
Don't overthink it.
France is going to win,
France is going to win.
but I want Messi to win.
I do too.
I don't want Argentina to win. I just want Messi to win.
Well, he's
Yeah.
Argentina. If he wins, they all win.
Sure.
But yeah, don't overthink it. France is a far superior team to Argentina, and they'll win.
I guess I gotta get there early then.
You got to get there early, and you got to see us out at FedEx. It's going to be
cannot
rocking
wait.
Washington, hoping to seal the deal on playoffs. So there will be no live stream. We will be back for a day after reckoning. That's going to happen Monday. You're going to see us all sleepy. What you got, Trev?
Maybe we should pop in for an impromptu live stream from the suite if we win.
We
Signal's not usually the best. We
Yeah,
will have
that's the
some
problem.
We're in the suite though. We'll be in the suite though.
We'll have some content from the game. We'll have our
Oh,
phones.
okay,
We'll be
okay.
recording. We'll be making sure we bring something back, and maybe we'll put a whole video together separate from it. So
Get our
hopefully
blog
it'll be there.
on. Get our
Yes.
blog
The
on.
answer to
Smitty
that is
Jr.
yes.
asking, do we expect the stands to be over 75%? I think so.
I think
I
it's
think
I
this
think
is-
it's gonna be
this is
the
gonna be
one
fun.
time where it's gonna be majority home fans and visitor fans. Honestly,
there's
guys.
gonna be a lot of Giants fans there, a lot of Giants fans, but it's
Yeah.
gonna be pretty full.
So in the Falcons game, they listed it as 80% filled.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it
So-
wasn't.
It probably wasn't, but you got to remember they've also tarped a lot of things. I think FedEx is going to be popping. We're going to be there. We're going to be excited. And we're hoping that day after reckoning, I'll be in a onesie. But until next time.
But- Shout out one time, Ovi, 800 goals, 94 from Gretzky, one from Gordie Howe for second place all time.
has a chance at home to pass there. Is that what we're looking for?
Yeah,
Excellent.
there you go.
All right. Now are we ready?
Okay.
Yeah.
Until next time,
Trey Bradley Beal.
be a fan.